So we are live. Welcome to another Ask Your Mentor Anything live. And today we have again Olga Jeczmyk. Hello, Olga. How are you?
Hi, Virginia. I'm fine. Thank you. How are you?
I'm fine. We're all of us pretty busy today. Great topic. And I can tell that you chose the topic. But based on my experience, it's a topic that everyone, at least in our profession, we face a problem. Like it's a difficult issue to deal with. And it's about content and how to create the appropriate content, as you mentioned in your topic, so as to engage with your audience, your customers, or whoever is your audience. So let's wait for a few people to join us. Olga has been here with us before, but I'd like you to introduce yourself, or if you have any changes in your bio since the last time we had a chat. So I would love to hear from you before we get in.
Hello, everybody. I hope that you are having a great day, even if it's Friday and it's the last day of the week for most of you. So as I can imagine, it has been a busy week for everybody. So my presentation would be a little bit maybe even the same that the last time, because I still do the same things. I hope you know all the time better, because we improve when we gain experience. So I am Polish, Spanish, Catalan, from French, English, and Italian translator. I also work as a marketing specialist in a telecommunications agency company here in Luxembourg, the biggest company of telecommunications here in the country. Even if we are a small country, but the company is really big, so it's a funny topic. And I am working and I am studying at the same time, doing a PhD in translation studies, a PhD related to cognitive strategies related to written translation problems. And hopefully I will finish it very, very soon. So fingers crossed, everything's going to be fine, hopefully. And I love to participate in presentations, conferences, to share values, experience with other colleagues, and marketing and social media, translation are, the topics that I really love and I enjoy talking about. So I hope everybody will have the same feeling during the session, because it's going to be very, very dynamic.
And that was the reason how we met also. So definitely we met, I think you were a speaker at the conference in Bologna, at least in person. So definitely yes. I can tell that you are a public speaker at international events as well, apart from the academic ones. And I'm inviting all of you in the comments. So if you have any questions for Olga today, take this advantage, because we have Olga here live, to ask Olga anything about our today's topic. Finger crossed, says Dorota here from Poland. Hello, Ileana from Italy. Thank you for joining us, ladies. Can you see the comments on the right part of your screen, most probably, Olga?
Yes. Hello, everybody. Yeah.
So let us know in the comments if you have any question for us or for our today's topic, or if you come up with any questions in the meantime. So yes, let's get into our topic, because I find it really, really interesting, and I would like to keep the conversation maximum 1 hour with the questions. So would you like to let us know why did you choose this topic? And then let's get into the details.
I think that everybody knows the famous sentence that is practically published everywhere in internet: content is the king. And I guess that you know who used it for the first time in early 90s. So if someone in the comments want to give us the right answer.
Ciao from Rome, they say. Hello.
Ciao.
We're international. I cannot recall.
So Bill Gates told us.
They have repeated the sentence after that.
Yes, and it's a very interesting sentence, because it's something that we can apply to several, categories. It's not only something that we can use in marketing or communication, but we can use it in journalism, we can use it in translation, in interpreting, and all that has something to do with content. We as translators are content creators because we create the content in our culture, in our language. So we have the chance to really be able to create this unique content. And this unique content should be also something that should be our imaging. We are sharing who we are through the content that we are sharing and that we are producing. Of course, it's not the same when we have to translate a specific topic with specific instructions. And if we are doing, for example, a financial translation project, it's not the same if we do it for transcreation or marketing or advertising, because then we have more space to play, to create something different and more engaging and more catchy. From the other side, we cannot compare those two sectors because every sector has its own objectives. But creating specific content, curating this content, it's something that every translator should do. And why? I think that it's essential to be, you said it several times, and your colleagues said also several times that having, a strong social media and online presence, it's something that every translator, interpreter, and linguist should do. Why? Because it's the way we present ourselves to the digital world, to our digital clients, to our clients who are sitting in Australia, Greece, Poland, Spain, US, all around the globe. So we need to find also the way to engage them, and we can do it through the content. It's also important to have a specific target audience. Who is the people, who is the sector of the clients that I want, to communicate with? Do I want to communicate with a private client or clients coming from a specific sector, such as financial or such as, economy or banking sectors? Or I want to talk more from the marketing point of view, and I would like to create and help clients from, the communication sector, because the reality in communication sector and knowing it from from my side, because I'm working in this sector here in Luxembourg, is that translators are rare. It's very strange, it's very rare to ask a real and a professional translator to help translate a text, because we always have someone in the company who knows German, we always have someone who knows English, we always have someone who knows Spanish.
That's something translators, they don't want to hear.
Exactly.
It's a red flag for us.
Exactly. So at the same time that we share this content, we present ourselves in a digital way, it is very important. It's essential to, educate these clients, to explain them the value of a good and a professional final product. It's not the same if you ask a professional translator to do his or her job, or if you do it through Google Translator or the colleague who sits across you and who is fluent in German, because it can happen.
So, what you say here, we need this content so
Yes.
as to boost our online presence, and at the same time to educate our clients for what we do.
Exactly.
But what you say, even if it sounds like a drawback, the fact that we are rare to be found and things like that, I find it as an advantage, because if something is rare to be found, it means that there is room for development, and it's not that enough, the competition. So it's a profession that has room for growth, definitely.
Exactly. And you have your space, to make a difference. And, to start saying, hey, I'm here, I'm a professional translator, my services are those, my language combinations are those. and I can offer you that. And then you can present yourself, as a solution, as the solution of the problem, or the solution of a project for a client. So it's not only about, the content, it's the king, but the way you present it also, it's very, very important. Why? Because it happens a lot of time, and I am dealing with quality here also in Luxembourg. And from my point of view, what I see a lot is that we don't really pay attention to small details. And small details are, the details that make the difference, are the details that make us shine brighter. What means shine brighter? It means that if I don't have the correct punctuation, or I don't use a translator for, a professional translation. No, I have my website. I have the company website in 3 different languages. But as I have a colleague who's fluent in German, I will just, ask him to help me because it's cheaper and it's faster because he's sitting behind me. So all those details.
It's not an objective, the cheaper.
Yeah, well,
at the end,
I know. I said it very fast because I'm trying, to understand the point of view of people
of
the client. So I need to explain the client that I am, the real solution because I am the professional. And it's very easy to make several examples, just to try to that the client understand why you are the solution. If you have a problem with a teeth, you will go to a dentist, to an odontologist. You're not going to see someone who brushes the teeth very well. Same happens with lawyers. If you have a legal problem. Hello? Can you hear me?
Network issue, most probably on your part.
I can hear you very well now.
Okay. Have you closed anything, your mobile phone and your network?
No, I don't have anything working at the same time.
Issue. Okay, I hope it won't be a problem to continue. I would like to ask you before, because you got into and you're giving us so helpful advice already on how to create engaging content. Okay, Dorota says you can hear us. You mentioned earlier, and actually it was the initial title of our topic today, the content curation. And I was afraid that this topic not be clear to everyone who is not in the marketing sector. So would you like to take a few moments to describe in a bit more detail what is content curation, how we can use it, for example, as translators, and then we can continue with the details as you were getting into that.
Content curation, it's a process to find content that can attract your audience, and it's the way also that you need to share on your channels or your social media content that can create value, that can, show you as a specialist. You're going to share only the information that you know, that you share, that you are where you are the expert. For example, if I am a professional translator from the marketing sector, I am not going to talk about financial translations because it's not my professional sector. But what it means that I will not only sell my services as a professional marketing translator, but I will also share information related to this sector. Why? Because I will show my clients that I am constantly learning. I am constantly trying to develop new skills. I am constantly trying, to be very practical, because then I can share practical information also that can help my clients to understand better what I'm doing, what is my job about, what is marketing, for example. And this is something very important because if you, for example, have a blog, or if you don't have a blog, but you write some articles, as you can do on LinkedIn, there's this free option that on LinkedIn you can write articles. Then you can share also, unique content, which is really important because exactly. You can be the one who will create the content that no one did. So if you see that there's a missing topic that you can suggest or you can talk about because you're the specialist in this sector, do that, because it's going to add value to your brand, to yourself. to you as a professional translator, interpreter, linguist, whatever you are, proofreader. So it's a way, and social media, it's a way to increase visibility. So if you're doing it on LinkedIn, you know that you can share it on Twitter, you know that you can share it on your Facebook page and other social media. And as Virginia is doing very well, she's adapting every content to every channel. So,
and I was about to tell you, because I think we have this misconception that content is only blog posting or LinkedIn. Content can be anything that we make visible online. It might be video. The stories that you create on Instagram is content. The videos right now that we are here in the interview
exactly.
With Olga is content. Anything that you, at least about online content, anything that comes publicly visible online through your channels is content. The difference between online original content that you mentioned, the unique content, in the content that you create originally, it's your content and comes from a source that you own the copyright, which means is your blog. Ideally, that you own your blog and your website, and then you distribute to other social media that you might be the owner of social media, but you don't own the platform. So if we can say a few words, we don't have the time. So I think we covered what is content curation. Is there anything else you would like to add about this, Olga?
No, I agree. I totally agree with you that distributing this content should be also done, in a clever way. It means that you can share exactly the same content, but you need to present it in different ways, adapting the content to every channel. And as you said, content can be written content, a picture that you do a selfie. It's a content also. So it can be if you have so many pictures on your social media, but then you apply to, you send your CV to a client and he's going, but because it happens, he's going to check you and check your social media. Be aware of that, and, create and share content with value. Content that can represent you in a digital environment.
Okay, and the value, because you mentioned it so many times, I think also there is an issue. So you mentioned you need to provide value, but let's go a bit deeper. What do we mean by value? You mentioned already some ways to provide value, like informing. You mentioned your clients about your CPD or developments in the sector or your specialization developments, for example. And that way you inform, you educate, you add value by providing knowledge maybe, or letting your audience know something they didn't know before, or helping them. You mentioned also the solution, be the solution to their problem, helping them through your content to solve the problem that they already have. So the value can have different forms. But also what I need also to include here in those inform, educate, adding value, being a solution, it's also the fact that behind of all this content, you actually promote yourself as the go-to expert. I think this is what Olga is trying to tell you. It's not only how to use it to engage, but also at the same time, you have two benefits here, not only becoming visible, but also becoming visible the right way if you use the right content as the go-to expert, and people, they trust you. You start to gain the trust of your audience if you are also providing value through your content.
Exactly. And sharing valuable content, it's one of content curation strategies. It means that it's not only sharing unique content, but also increasing the visibility of this content and impressing your audience, as you said. Impressing because they need to, through your content, they need to see that you are the expert, you are the one they are looking for to for the project, and you are not only selling you, but you're giving something more, something extra. So the main purpose of this content sharing, it's not only to sell your services, but to show you from the specialist way, which is really, really important, because it's going to open you a lot of doors. Yes, exactly.
You gain credibility, and you are the queen of this because you have a very successful blog as well. For those that don't know it,
thank you.
I want to mention that. Yes, it's in Spanish. Unfortunately, I cannot follow, but I know it's one of the biggest ones internationally. It's the. Can you mention the name, because I know the English version?
Yes, it's 20.000lenguas.com.
Language. We have one question. Do you want to read the question now, or you want to answer questions at the end?
Yes, no, we can do it
So Dorota
through
says,
the.
how should we adapt content to every social media platform? Yes, I was about that you would like to answer that question because just hit the topic, Olga. Can you share some rules? Does it refer to making videos, writing a post, or it's more about the structure of content? It's both. A short
Both,
question.
yeah,
You're
both.
asking both. But definitely, Olga, if you have anything that you'd like to answer.
Well, for example, on Instagram, we are going to share more videos and more pictures. So the idea is to make the content dynamic. So you can do it through a lot of applications, a lot of extra tools that the channel, the social media platform gives you, as GIFs or hashtags or pictures that are moving. So there are a lot of ways to share the same content. You can, for example, write a sentence and make a picture, a sentence that is logged to your website, for example, or a sentence that it's explaining who you are, and do it like like in stories, for example. You have this option that in 24 hours your story is going to disappear, but you can, however, keep it in your own Instagram profile, with creating a specific tool that will open this story even if it's going to disappear from your own profile. And what can you do? You can explain, for example, how to treat, how it is to share a translator. How can I talk with a translator? Because imagine that, I am a client and I really need a translator, but I've never worked with a translator. So how can I ask a translator which is the information that I need to provide a translator? So you can do a simple story with 2, 3, or 4 different screens, color screens that are sharing your brand. If your brand it's in red color or in blue color, or your domain color of your brand is yellow, so use these colors just to be easy to be recognized by the client. And use always useful information. Try to make it simple. Try to make it as much clear possible. And for example, in Instagram, you can do the stories. In Facebook, you can share a link with a picture and a longer description. But be aware also to use, hashtags, because it's going to be easy to find, the topic through the hashtag. Be aware that you can cut the link, because sometimes we have a long link with or website or LinkedIn profile or an article that we want to share, and it's very ugly to share, kilometric links. So there are tools that can, cut these links for free, and you can show it, from a different and from a more professional way. Same happens, for example, with Twitter. Twitter at the beginning had 144 characters that you can use. And now we have the double, because they double. But there are several strategies in Twitter to share the content. If you have a lot of things to say, you can use several messages on Twitter, because it's seen as a micro-blogging platform.
You separate the content.
Exactly. Or you can do as, for example, I don't know if you saw, there was a message during coronavirus done by the Burger King UK team on Twitter, and they were inviting clients to eat at McDonald's, at Kentucky Fried Chicken, Pizza Hut, and other companies that are the competitors of Burger King. But the main idea of this message was to tell you that please remember that we are there, even if coronavirus was still there. Last year, they published this message at the end of last year. And they did it in a very nice way, because they did a post in a picture. So all the message was in a picture. And they just write a single sentence at the beginning of the Twitter post to say, hey, please take care and don't forget us. Amazing. Something like that. So it was amazing. It was an amazing way to share a longer message on Twitter. So the rules are okay. There are several rules for several, social media channels, but you can also invent the rules, as Burger King was doing. So check how other competitors are doing, are sharing this information, how they are, contacting clients, how they are talking, how they are presenting themselves there, and do a research of what is missing and what can you provide as a different, as a unique content, as the sharing value, sharing you as the one they are looking for. I hope
we cannot talk, if we can start talking about how to adapt your content in each platform, and Olga already gave a lot of detail, because we have a very limited time to go through. But Dorota, that's a great question. I think Olga covered already the basics of Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. LinkedIn, for me, it's a bit more difficult because I'm teaching LinkedIn and I have 3-month program, if you know already.
Yes, this is why I give you the voice. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it's really, I'm always surprised that we have 3 months for this to learn LinkedIn or how to use LinkedIn professionally to get clients. But still, I have created additional program for only using the content and how to use content to attract your clients, because I think content cannot be covered in the 3-month program that I teach them. I have integrated a module, about content creation of both the structure and the behind of the scenes rules of how to, for example, to use the LinkedIn algorithm to work in favor of yours, as you mentioned already about Instagram, for example, for the hashtags and tactics, strategy behind the content, as well as the structure. But content for me has 2 aspects, and one already is mentioned by Olga. You need to provide value. So it's 80% you provide value to your content, to your audience, whatever is the value they expect from you. Is a solution to their problem? Is it to educate them on a specific topic? Is to inform them about specific developments? And 20% selling, because I see that problem a lot. People are selling, and this is a great mistake. And the second one, I would say, is consistency, which actually applies to all social media platforms. So even if, Dorota, you need, for example, to adjust your content per platform so as to gain that engagement that we're discussing today. And as Olga mentioned on Instagram, you need a photo, you need to use stories, you need hashtags, and to use all the numbers of hashtags that are allowed there. Also on LinkedIn, whereas you don't need to include a link to your post so as to the algorithm to work in favor of yours. This is why we include a link, for example, the first comment. Or lately, what I've learned is actually you need to include only 3 hashtags per post so as, to get the most of the engagement on LinkedIn. And tactics, tips, and hacks like that. Consistency applies to all the platforms. And consistency is based on your availability, but I think lately it's every day. You need to be online at least 10 minutes every day to the platforms that you have chosen, to engage with your audience, because I think Olga will agree with us. You cannot be every day, everywhere, and be at the same time to gain the same engagement and to be that engaging all over the internet world. I don't know if there's anything else you would like to add, Olga?
Yeah, it's an extra job, spending time on social media to create, value and sharing content and presenting yourself in this digital environment. It's another job. So you need, as Virginia said, be very consistent and, create also a calendar, establish the time that you want to spend on social media to share this content, to present yourself, because it's very easy to spend a lot and too much time there. So be aware of that, because it's very hard at the beginning, and to be consistent, it's very difficult, because there are times, periods of the year when we are having a lot of work, and periods of the year when we can share more content because we have less work to do. But this consistency, it's really important. You can't share something and say, it's not working, it's not going to work. You need to, in order to be someone, a trusted professional, you need to you need to build this trust, you need to build this value through, good content, being consistently, and through time. You need to be patient. It's not something that it's going to arrive in 2-3 days or 2-3 weeks. weeks. Sometimes it takes more time, but there's always something good that is going to happen.
It's a long-term strategy.
Exactly.
It's a long-term strategy, and this is
Exactly.
why my 3-month program is usually focused on short-term strategies to get clients, like prospecting, outbound marketing, whereas inbound marketing, like content marketing, needs time. I have applied this strategy, we can say, to an annual basis with my mentees. So we work per 3 months on our content, and I think that content needs at least 6 months to check if it works or not, and to start seeing engagement and seeing results. Even if we get such great results through the program, like 80 likes, she had Luna in 1 week, but still it needs time. I would like to mention, you mentioned another job, and I get so often the question, so you mentioned it's another job, and I get the question from it is, can I hire someone to do the engagement for me? Can I hire someone to go and okay, I know that big brands, they might hire social media managers or even content managers, but what about us as translators? I think my opinion shortly is a big no, because no one can engage the way that you do, and no one can have the voice the way that you have in a written way, or better on a video. But definitely, what is your opinion on that?
I agree with you, because no one knows you better than yourself.
Yeah.
So no one knows you better, and no one knows what do you exactly want to share and what you're looking for. Even if you have your own company, and maybe you have, I don't know, you offer a trainership to 1, 2, 3 trainees, because I know that colleagues do that also. In a different ways, mentoring programs or traineeships, whatever you want to call it. But from the other point of view, you will need to spend time with these students. So it's something extra. So it's not only, that, it's going to be very easy, I'm going to hire someone, or I'm going to work through a mentoring program and it's going to work itself. No. There is a lot of work behind that. There's a lot of time, a lot of consistency. It's like, like sport. If you're not constant in sport, you're not going to win. It's like in music. If you don't practice every day, you're not going to learn. You're not going to be able to play a concert. You're not going to be. You're not going.
For some reason.
Sorry?
If you stop for some reason, something happens, and you stop to be that active on social media, you see right away that there is a downgrade on your performance on social media. So it's pretty fast. Also, the bad news there. So it's like a great example that you gave us about sports. It's like being an athlete. Yes, definitely.
Yes, exactly. And you need to practice every day. As Virginia said, if you have 10 minutes, use those 10 minutes. I remember when I came to Luxembourg, the first thing I was doing, those 10 minutes, those 30 minutes that I have every day was when I was taking the bus going, from the office to my home and coming from home to the office. And I remember that I was using this time to share content, to share on my social media, because it was the only time that I was able to, to use during the day, because my day was so busy. So if you really want to share content, if you really want to, present yourself and be online, you will find the time. So it's not an excuse.
I know that you like social media. This is why you have such a successful blog. I like social media. I get those people that they tell me I don't really like to be on social media. This is another story.
But you can try to be strong, for example, in 1 or 2 different channels. You don't need to be everywhere. It's always a benefit to be everywhere. But if you're strong, if you're strong, as Virginia is strong in LinkedIn, for example, or someone else is strong in Twitter, or someone else is strong in Facebook, stay there and create value from there. Then I am pretty sure that Virginia will share your content on LinkedIn, or someone else will share it on Twitter. So it's like a machine. I will help you, you will help me, we'll work close, we'll work together, and together we will approach and we will find the way, to interact. So interacting with colleagues, it's also the way to share value, to share content.
Or with your clients.
Exactly.
But for me, it's really important to choose the platforms based on 2 things where your clients are and what platform you really enjoy. Because if you don't enjoy being there, for example, I like Twitter, but I like to write longer, for example, content. Or, for example, I like Instagram, but I don't like to post photos. Then Instagram is not for you. So you need to choose a platform that you really enjoy sharing content. And at the same time, if it actually covers the fact that your clients are there, that's the ideal situation, in my opinion. If not, then choose one for hobby to pass your time, and then one for your prospecting or your strategy, marketing, content strategy for your company and your business, or you as a freelancer.
Exactly, and don't mix them. Don't mix them. Yeah. Because if you're a coffee lover and you enjoy, making pictures, making photos of your coffees, it's not something that it's going to create value, or something that it's going to, to make you shine or make you present yourself as a leader in this sector. Maybe if your clients are related to this, to the alimentation and coffee sector, that's a great idea. But if you work with different, clients, don't mix your social media. Use, as Virginia said, one personal channel for Instagram or whatever you want, and then a professional channel to show you from this professional point of view.
Whereas I'm not the ideal example here, because I have a lot of problem to distinguish. I recently created a 5th Instagram account to distinguish my coaching business from my personal. I had it together, but okay, it takes time. It needs time. Sometimes when you are a one-person business, sometimes it's very easy to get connected with your personal account, because people, they follow you as a person. So it's really difficult at some point to tell them, do not follow me because I have a profile. It's really difficult at some point, but definitely I get your point that you need to distinguish your content.
You can link them because, as you said, it's really nice also to see, the real face, who is posting, who is this translator, who is this linguist. So it's nice to link them, to say this is my professional account, but from the other side, as I said, I'm a coffee lover, or I love traveling, or I don't know, I'm doing sport, and this is what I'm doing every Friday afternoon. So I'm running, or I'm doing, I'm doing abdominal exercise, whatever you're doing. It's nice also because you really don't know where you can find your next client. Maybe your next client, one day it happened to me that I contact a client. I said that I am a translator, and I added like a section with my hobbies, interest, and I had a really doubt, because I thought, who is going to read it? It's like an extra information. It's not something that it's going to add this value. And that was a mistake, because it opened me the doors to one client, because I said that I was practicing fencing. And this client said, oh, wow, it's amazing, because me too. And we started talking about fencing, and then I got the job. So you really don't know where you are going to find your next clients. So this is why it is so important to, offer professional content, even if it's personal, but do it in a professional way, always with a good sense of humor, and, in the way that who you are needs to be shared on your social media, but in a nice way, in a way that you're not going to say, oh my God, I have this picture and I have a new client and I need to go and to delete this picture because it's someone, it's me on holidays and I am like, I burn on the sun. So
this is really the content. The balance. It's really difficult. And I see also the other hand, the other side of the problem, that some translators, they use personal profiles for so professional reasons. Like the other day, I was sent a business card in a photo through Facebook Messenger. So people were adding me, and they were sending their business card through Messenger. So this is a big no. This is not how social media should work. So yes, you need to keep a balance between personal and professional life, but not over exaggerate, okay, by sending your business cards through Messenger on a social meme like Facebook, which is actually social, to socialize with other people. We shouldn't forget the main reason why social media exists out there. But thank you for sharing your story. And what reminded me your story by getting those clients is actually that you need to start natural conversation. This is what I'm telling them on LinkedIn, my ultimate LinkedIn prospect system. Start natural conversation. The way that this person actually found this hobby of yours and you started a natural conversation was the reason they actually hired you later on. It wasn't the fact that you have the same hobby, it's the fact that you found a reason through that information that you've sent and to start a natural conversation, maybe find some common points. So this is something you need all of you to remember when you share content on where you start conversation with your clients. Try to find something you have in common and then to start natural conversation. I have a tricky question for you, Olga. Since we are content creators, all of us translators, why we have so much problem in actual content curation and to engage our audience other than other colleagues? Because I see a lot. This is a very common question we get also from my mentees. I have a lot of they tell me translators in my LinkedIn profile, I don't have clients, or I post about clients and I get engagement from other colleagues. So why for us is so difficult? Content curation, since we are content creators, and why we find it that difficult, especially for our clients, whereas with colleagues we are so fine to get them or engage with them online.
So I think the main reason it's because we want to have the result very quickly, very fast. It means that it's true that we live in a digital moment, in a digital era when videos and advertising it's going, being always shorter and shorter. 2 years ago, I remember that advertising were having a duration of 1 to 2 minutes. So if an ad had a longer duration, it was like boring. Right now, it's even less. And right now we have videos that had a length of 20 to 30 seconds. It's not even a minute. So it is something that happens also, in content curation. We want to see our results very fast, very, immediately, which is not possible because, as we said, it takes time. And we need to try several strategies. Maybe we need to engage our clients with, a visual or something, a visual message more than a written message, a visual message that will invite them to click and to see who we are, what we are doing and why we are sharing this content. Or maybe we are not using the correct hashtags because we are on Twitter and we are using hashtags in a wrong way. Something that I don't like, for example, on social media, it's especially on Twitter, it's that we have the tendency, to use hashtags at the end of the message, and we should, add the hashtags and the keywords on the main message, during the main message. So it is something that I see a lot. And I understand that sometimes it's very complicated to add this hashtag on the main message, and it's easier to post it at the end.
I have accepted bullying for that because I used to use hashtags in my message, message, and translate. They attacked me and they told me, "What are you writing? Why so many hashtags in your message?"
No. It's the correct way to do it. No.
Yeah, but if they are not familiar with that, okay, they attack you right away. So what's the reason?
Exactly. And another thing is, that I don't know how right now, the translators education at university, the degrees are looking. But when I was studying, I didn't have the chance to study marketing. I didn't have the chance to study communication. So what I said, I had the chance to have, free subjects from credits. So I was able to choose all the difficult faculties from my university. I was able to choose the subjects that I really wanted to learn, and they were counted as an extra credits for my degree. So what I did all my credits with communication and marketing subjects, because I was attracted, and I thought it's really important, to present ourselves, because when you finish your degree, and you have the impression that, okay, what I'm going to do right now? Do I need to continue studying? Do I need to start looking for a job? Do I need to do both things at the same time? So there are a lot of questions. And I think that in communication and in marketing, we can find a lot of answers. What to do in the meantime, how to work at the same time that we are looking for a job or we are looking for clients. So it's something that it's a pity that not everybody has the chance to do, but something that translators are doing during all the life. It's keep learning. So here we have, to keep learning all the time, because tendencies are also different.
It's a pity we don't study communication during our studies. I think communication at least should be one of the mandatory.
Yeah, exactly. Internet communication, digital communication.
Nowadays, digital.
Yeah, the
Still, when
basics
we
of
were studying, communication should be one, because we have a
exactly,
communication also problems as translators.
exactly.
But that's another topic as well. Okay, so thank you. There are two questions. I don't know if you had about you would like to discuss how to use in daily communication and the guidelines to establish our own communication rules. Is there anything you would like to add to those two?
Yes. For example, for the rules, big companies, such as the company where I'm working, or I don't know, let's say Coca-Cola, or the big ones, they have their own guidelines how to write, what to share, how to share, when to share it. So everything is written like in a gold book. We should do maybe not the same, because it's not possible, because we don't have the time to do it. The problem of
Or the
everything
budget
it's
to
the time
invest.
or the budget, but
We have a whole
mostly
company
the time. Mostly the time, but the budget is a key element as well. So what we should do is to be really aware how we communicate, the way we communicate. If we are using, don't use, for example, negative sentences. Turn it in a positive way, or don't use negative adjectives, or don't create so long sentences to on your social media, or on your blog, or on your website. Be very short, because as we said, we live in an area when we want to have a short product, something really something easy to understand. So exactly. So we need to share this simple way, but at the same time simple and professional way. So guidelines should be aware what is the terminology that you're using when you're talking with your clients. How is the approach? It is more direct, it's less direct, because if it's less direct, I should apply it also in my communication. I should be consistent in that. There is this consistent awareness that you should keep in your communication. So guidelines are really, there are no specific rules. You are the one who make the rules. But if you make some rules, apply them in all your communication, on your emails, on your social media messages. When you're answering to a client, be really aware that you're using the same way, the same tone. And
if you allow me, sometimes our clients or our audience, they make the rules. So maybe in the beginning we experimented about our
exactly
language we use, but the engagement that you mentioned here in your topic and the theme that we're discussing today is actually a great way to learn. We learn from the engagement. We learn if we don't get any likes. We learn a lot about our clients if we get many likes. We learn a lot if our clients, they share it, or if they mention it, or if they compliment, or the other way around. It's a great way for us to create those rules based on the interaction, based on what we learn from our audience.
Exactly. And what we learn also from all colleagues, because maybe a translator who is exactly, maybe a colleague or a client who is really he has this easy tone, easy way to communicate, and we really like it. So maybe we should do the same way. Maybe we should use the same strategy and turn it in a personal way. So this is something that, as Virginia said at the beginning, we are a little bit lost. We are lost in translation, literally. And we need to find our style. So when we'll be able to find our style to communicate in a style that everybody will be able to recognize us, this is going to be, part of our guidelines. And as I said, something something that we should be always aware, it's to keep negativity away, and to turn those negative sentences in a positive way, and share yourself always as a specialist, as a leader in your sector, and as the professional that will help the client to reach his or her objectives.
Okay, so definitely you can find some styles you like, but the key is to personalize them, as Olga mentioned, because No one's style can be your own style, and definitely you might like someone's style. It might be your style, but might not work for your audience. So you need to
Exactly.
take into consideration all those aspects before you are trying to use someone else's style.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how to use it in daily communication, is this something we covered?
In daily communication, we start covering the answer by telling when we can, how can we, dedicate our time, daily time, to digital communication. How can we do it? Well, it's a matter of good organization. So if you are well organized, you will always find a way, to be able to share and to contact and to communicate in a good way, in an effective way, because effective communication, it's the communication that we should use. But if you're lost, if you don't see the solution for your content, or to share content in a good way, what it's really important to do is to learn from your competitors. If you have a competitor or a preferred client, analyze them. It is very simple. Learn from them. Look at their calendar, when they are posting, how they are writing, how they are communicating. If it's something that it works because they have a lot of interactions. Interactions means likes, comments, people that shares this post on their own channel. So look at that. Take your time to analyze that, because through analysis we are able to learn a lot of things, and it's for free. So it's not something that you will learn anywhere. It's something that you will see as a professional translator, as a professional linguist. We study the language, so we are constantly analyzing the language, constantly analyzing the way how to present the same content in a natural, spontaneous way in our main language, in our mother tongue. So do the same with the clients. And
You mentioned analyzing, and we have so many tools that we do not use. This is, I think, a problem about engaging content, that we do not analyze the metrics. We have access to so many statistics and metrics on LinkedIn, for free, on Instagram.
Yeah.
And we don't take them into consideration. So yes, competition analysis might be one way, but first of all, take a few moments to analyze your own metrics, your own statistics about your content on those platforms. All
Exactly.
the platforms, social media, at least at some point with a free version limited. They provide you access to the analytics. If you have the paid version of the platforms, of course, you get access to even more analytics. But that way, you get access to how many people, the gender, even some hack we can say here is actually those platforms. They share, if you Google it, they share what are the top hours of the day to post, or which days you should choose to post your content so as to gain most of the improvement. So there are strategies behind of that if you want to get most of the engagement that you would like.
Yeah, and as you said, there are also free tools, so we don't need, to pay from our own pocket, to be on social media, but we can do it through free tools that can, help us, to share the content. So if we have, we know that we are going to have a busy month, so we can prepare this content, earlier, and then just program it for free to be shared on our social media when we are going to be busier. So we need to, to see in where we want to be online, when we want to be online, and also look, as you said, the metrics, and be aware of that, and be aware that also when you are on holidays, or when you are busy, you can also share the content through these free tools. You can. You can.
Paid, it's up to you what you're going to choose.
Exactly.
There are so many there online, and this is how you can actually. There are even tools that you can generate content ideas based on your background. So this is the training I gave the last time. Free or even paid tools online that you can put your interest or your client interest, and they generate even 250 ideas. So you can have content ideas for the rest of the year. And through those tools that Olga just mentioned, you can actually schedule them. So you can have 2 hours per week, or a specific day per week, or when you have a slow period, with translation work, you can devote the time that you have slow time, for example, with translation, to actually prepare your content for the upcoming month. This is what we do in the annual program for 3 months, and then you're free. You get so of workload off your shoulders that you cannot even imagine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Is there anything else you would like to add?
I think that you cover basically all that we wanted to say. I wanted, to make a point also, and to say again that it is something that it's going to take time to be, to have to create value, to create to show you from professional way as a leader on social media. But it is important, to be to keep this consistency, to be aware that it's something like it's being a translator and promoting ourselves. It's all something that we should do every day, a little bit, as a sport or music that we need to practice every day. So this is something that need practice every day, that we need to be consistent. We need to be original as well, because it's very easy to share content that someone already did, but it's very complicated to find something different and, something new. So being
the wheel, that's
exactly
something really difficult, but
exactly.
you can actually show your point of view on a specific topic.
Exactly. You can, for example, as Virginia said, share your own point of view and make questions, and it's a very nice and engaging way, to interact with your client and with your target audience. So you need to find the way to interact with them. And if it's something that it's not working, you can always change it. This is the magical way. This is something really nice that we can do on social media, that if something doesn't work, we can always change it. We can always, adapt it. There is a question, I think.
It's about the tool, but I would like to mention, I have one question from the audience that I would like to ask you about the language. But before going to that, do you have any hacks? You mentioned, for example, to ask questions so as to make your content more engaging. So asking questions is it's a great strategy. All of your posts should have one question, not many, one that it's easy for your audience to answer so as to gain engagement. And to have short paragraphs or short sentences, you mentioned, to have positive writing, you mentioned, to raise awareness. I could add, for example, to have curiosity, the curiosity of your audience, so as to gain engagement on your posts. And of course, another hack, as we mentioned, is to find the dates and the times through analytics that your audience is active on those platforms. Anything else that we didn't mention and you would like to mention about gaining engagement on your post?
Yes. If you don't have the idea for a post or for a publication, but you see that someone already posted a topic, or there is already a conversation existing about the topic that you want to share, what you can do is, continue in the conversation. There are a lot of conversations, that are or comments in those topics that people ask questions, or people share their own opinions. So this is also a way, to interact with them, because you can always share this content on your own social media platforms and said, I saw this conversation and I thought it was really interesting because of X, Y examples. So what do you think about? So there is a lot of different ways that you can, find the content that you want to share. And there is a lot of different strategies that you can use to interact with your clients. It's not only about sharing your own content, but it's also to share the content of other colleagues, clients, and interact with it. So
and always refer the resources. Where did you find this?
Exactly.
And the person. The
Exactly.
person who actually wrote it.
Exactly. Don't delete it and don't appropriate the content of
so if we can sum up, already you mentioned, like, to continue discussion of already mentioned and a topic that has already gaining a lot of engagement, the short paragraphs, the short sentences, bring value, find a topic, bring a solution to a problem of your clients, be educative, raise awareness, positive words and adjectives, the question, the curiosity that you need always to raise through your post and your content. And I think overall, the providing value has everything inside. So if you find something that your audience is really interested in, listening, reading, and so on, then you will gain the engagement. I think if you actually can make it a bit more emotional, then definitely you'll get more engagement based on my experience. And what I've seen working a lot is actually the genuine interest in your audience problems and issues. Not doing it so as to do it, but do it because you really enjoy the process, because you really want to provide value, because the audience, they really understand that. I think this is the difference. They really understand if you're interested in solving the problem, or if you're doing it just to do it because you need to post something that day.
Exactly.
So this is the key behind of everything.
Yeah, and if you want, as Virginia said very well, if you're sharing something because you need to share something on Wednesday, for example, sometimes it's better, to avoid sharing if it's something that you're not doing with your heart. So sometimes losing a day and not communicating during a day or two, it's maybe even better than sharing every day and sharing whatever the first topic that you saw on the website, on internet. And also another thing that I would also mention, it's to be modern in your communication. It means that if there are communication trends as, using hashtags, you're using emojis instead of using words. Think about it. Maybe on social media, it can work for you. Maybe, I don't know, maybe a funny emoji or an interesting emoji can help you on your communication. It is something that companies are doing and increasingly doing all the time.
Great.
I don't know how many emojis we have in WhatsApp right now. So, and it's increasing all the time. So think about it, because it's something that it's going to show you from a modern point of view.
The secret behind of this is actually to be updated about developments, about the news of its platform. Recently, in my annual alumni, I gave a training how to comment on LinkedIn as a page. So if you want to promote your page and you want more followers or people to go to your page, you can actually, there is a hack, because it's not allowed yet on LinkedIn, to go and comment on a very, on a post that gets a lot of engagement, to comment with your page name. Ileana says, I use them. Which one? Ileana, the emojis most probably. But do you use, Ileana, the hack that I recently gave a presentation, how to comment as a company to other people's, not companies, posts on LinkedIn, so as to attract more people to your page? So definitely, yes, as Olga said, you need to be updated, you need to be modern. And the 1 million question to close this live, which I think it was super informative. Very common, I think the most common question in our profession, because we usually have 2 or 3, you have 5 languages that you work, even more. In what language should we share content? 1 million question.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, that's the most common question I get from my mentees. I know that there is not one way to go through this problem, but definitely I would love to hear just your opinion on that, if you have any opinion on the topic.
So you need to see in which language are you strong. If you have some notions of Japanese, of course, you're not going to share the content in Japanese, even if it's a sexy language and it can be, seen in a very interesting way. So you need to share the content in a language that you know that your clients are looking. Yeah, exactly. And you need to share. You maybe need to share in more than one language at the same time. So maybe you need to share your language, your content in, let's say, in English, because it's the main language that you're working for. But at the same time, you know that the market in your country is really strong. So you need to be, understandable also in your own market. So it's maybe a good idea to share, content also, let's say, in French or in Spanish or in Greek or in Polish.
Do you do that, Olga? Do you share in different?
Yes, I share. I share in different language. Yes, I share. It's something that I do on my channels. I try, to adapt and to keep in mind that there is audience that it's going to be more attracted for Spanish content, for example, and audience that is going to be attracted more for English content. I don't have a lot of audience in Polish because I share also a post in Polish, but from my experience and from what I saw, I didn't develop yet the main, the same audience in Polish that in Spanish or in English or now in French as well, because there is a lot of content I'm sharing also in French lately. So try to find, from where your clients are coming, where you want to be, in what country you would like to have new clients, and in which language are you strong. So maybe
I think we have a problem in our profession because most translators, they are strong in more than one languages. So this comes the problem there. And then also because we usually have international audiences or clients that come from different countries. And this is very common question we get. So definitely I would follow the advice of Olga. In my programs, when we do campaigns, I totally suggest them to focus on one language, because for me, otherwise, especially on a platform like LinkedIn, it's like having different logos in two different languages, which wouldn't be the case. So you build your brand through your content. So you should be aware strategic also on what language you're going to use for your content. A great advice would be also to remember your audience. In my case, my biggest clients are Greek, but I don't post in Greek, but I know that also Greek clients, they understand English. So for me, it's a bit solve the problem that way. So I mostly post in English. Sometimes I post in Greek, but very, very rarely. So also, we cannot give you an answer. There is no size fits all here in this question. But if you would like a general advice, is what Olga said. What language are you stronger at using? What language your clients would look for you online, so as to use keywords as well through your content, and then to use an overall strategy for your content marketing. What is the objective? What is the end goal of your content marketing? And things like that, so as to structure as well, not only the form, the platforms, but also the language that you are going to use for your content. So thank you, Olga, so much for being here with us.
Thank you very much.
Your expertise here. Thank you all of you for being here. Nodira, Ileana, Dorota, Francesca. Thank you guys for being here with us. I will close the live. Have a great weekend. If you need more advice, you can reach out directly. Olga is a member of the Mentoring for Translators group. And if you missed the live and you watched the recording, you can find us on my YouTube channel, which is public. My Facebook public page, in the Mentoring for Translators group, which is a safe community, and you can join us if you're a translator or interpreter. And of course, on LinkedIn. If you have any questions, you can tag Olga or myself. You can use the hashtag replay and let us know if you have any questions on our today's topic. Thank you both, they say, for this interesting talk. You're welcome, Dorota. And we'll see you next Friday on a different topic about finances. And of course, I would like to invite you all. I'm creating a LinkedIn masterclass. So if you have questions about content on LinkedIn, definitely comment yes, and I will send you your free pass. It's a free masterclass. And I would love to see you all there. Olga, is there anything you would like to share? Anything that you are going to attend or be a speaker, or we could see you online?
Not for the moment, because I'm waiting for, I don't know if the next Congress is going to be live or it's going to be digital, because everything depends of COVID, unfortunately, yet still. So, but I really want you to invite you all to take a look at social media, to see if there's something that you see that you can use also for your own strategy, communication strategy. And if you have any doubts or any questions, we both with Virginia are very active on social media, so we can help you. So don't hesitate to contact us.
And we will share Olga's also contact information in the chat, so we will follow up with you. Thank you, all of you, for being here. Have a great weekend. Olga, thank you, such a pleasure. I wish to meet you in person soon.
Very soon, hopefully, yes.
So
thank you very much.
You stay here with me and I close the live. Bye-bye, all.
Bye, thank you.